Hello and welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World, and a very happy Merry Christmas Eve to everybody here at Prime Sports World. So all of you out there watching us here at Prime Sports World, if you like what we're doing here, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. On the episode of the show, we're going to give you our Week 17 fantasy football rankings as we try to help you get your lineups for the championships or the semifinals, depending on what kind of league you play in. If you play Week 18 or not. I'm David On Point Humping. Right there is Mr. Izzy Rivera. Welcome to the show, brother. How you doing, man? Are you doing better since last Saturday?
I am. What happened last Saturday? Did I get ousted from the playoffs?
No, the Packers lost on Saturday.
Oh yeah, I don't remember that. I moved past that. I got dang. I know what you was talking about. Anyways, I'm doing great though, man. I'm in the championship, like you mentioned. One of my leagues, they only play up to week 17. Our league, we play all 18 weeks. But I'm in the championship for the second year in a row. Hopefully, I win it, and I'm not runner up. And we will talk about a particular player that is starting in my lineup that is suspended for 2 games because he decided to slap a fan. And it just so happens to happen on the championship week that, I got to play. DK Metcalf is not playing because he decided to do some tomfoolery, some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'm in the finals in AJ's league. Going up against, I can't remember who I'm playing up against, but I'm in the finals in AJ's league. Pretty pumped about that. And then in the greatest people, we got Graybo, Shiv, Starada, and Dave Andrulis have all been in the finals. So good luck to all you guys. I know I've been slacking a little bit on the announcement of who was the highest scoring team in the league this week. That will come out shortly today. I've been dealing with a cold and I've been working like crazy. So it is what it is. Let's talk about fantasy football, week number 17. Let's talk about them injuries right quick. Obviously, we got Lamar Jackson dealing with a little bit of a back injury. Has not practiced, probably will not play against your Green Bay Packers on Saturday. If you're looking for
That's
some people
good.
if you get a little bit of a gift there. If you're looking for some people to potentially play some, obviously Tyler Huntley is his immediate backup. Tyler Shook, who's quietly been put together a pretty nice couple games here for the New Orleans Saints. And then in that same game, I got Cam Ward, who had a pretty good game at the office against the Kansas City Chiefs last weekend. Obviously, unfortunate injury with Keyshawn Junkins. Just don't watch the injury. It's nasty. It's terrible. It is one of those injuries that probably going to impact, hopefully doesn't impact the rest of his career. Just thoughts and prayers out to him as he recovers from, a really devastating injury, broken leg, tore some stuff in his knee up, tore some stuff in his ankle. Just hopefully he gets to a speedy recovery and can be back on the football field sooner rather than later. Dylan Sampson is his immediate backup there in Cleveland. If you don't want to use any of those guys, you can have Chris Rodriguez of the Washington Commanders, and then Jawar Jordan, who is could. If Woody Marks misses the game and Nick Chubb is still out, Jawar Jordan becomes the starter there in Houston. Pretty favorable matchup there against the Los Angeles Chargers. Jordan Love on here day to day. Practiced in a limited capacity yesterday. I have not looked at his practice status today. But Malik Willis, every time he goes out there and plays football, man, he just puts up numbers. He's a sneaky athlete with the running. He's been pretty accurate when they ask him to throw. Could be somebody you just plug and play. Also, Cam Ward and Tyler Shook, same guys as if you're dealing with Lamar Jackson's injury. Travion Henderson is day-to-day dealing with some sort of injury. Should be probably won't play in this game against the New York Jets. They shouldn't really need Taravion Henderson. But if you're looking for somebody, Ramondre Stevenson is his immediate backup, was the starter there in New England at the start of the season. He's probably not available. Dearness Johnson is the other running back on the roster. And then Tajay Spears, if you want to go outside of the New England bubble, is the running back there in Tennessee, who's been decent for them over the last couple of weeks. So somebody there. And then DK Metcalf. Yeah, we were just talking about DK Metcalf. Obviously, he's going to be suspended for the last 2 games of the season. And if you're going to look in-house for somebody to replace the production for DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin, who's been banged up a little bit the last couple of weeks, is looking healthy enough to play. Adam Thielen, who's been a nice veteran addition to this roster. And then MVS, who's got rapport there with Aaron Rodgers, almost caught another touchdown against the Detroit Lions. Came up just short on that catch. But he has a rapport there with Aaron Rodgers. He has he likes to catch those long bomb touchdowns. If I had to pick anybody of those 3, MVS is the guy that I would probably target if you're staying in Pittsburgh for the replacement DK Metcalf. But
I'm actually gonna tilt towards the second guy that you're talking about, and Adam Thielen.
okay.
I'm actually looking at possibly.
I think
in my league,
I think in PPR leagues, Adam Thielen is probably a better option.
4 targets, 4 catches last week. He looked like he was on par. He was like the 3rd favorite target for Aaron Rodgers last week, outside of DK and Kenneth Gainwell, right? And also in that game, expect the tight ends to kind of pick up the pace a little bit, right? Darnell Washington, Pat Freiermuth, whoever the hell else they got. But DK Metcalf, I mean, super bonehead decision to. I mean, your team's right there in the thick of things. You are legit hurting your team by doing. I'm pretty sure you guys talked about that yesterday. But hurting your team, you're hurting my fantasy team, which he probably doesn't care. Yeah, but on my roster, David, I'm sliding in Wan'Dale Robinson this week.
I like it.
DK Metcalf.
Hopefully he can bounce back after what was a pitiful performance with that entire offense last weekend. But
he's had a bad couple weeks. After he kind of exploded, 4 weeks ago, he hasn't really done anything. But hopefully against the Raiders, I think that they can.
Yeah, let's hope so. If he doesn't against the Raiders, I mean, who knows? But yeah, those are some injuries to keep in mind. Week number 17.
Let me ask you something though. If we're getting to this, Cooper Kupp. I also have Cooper Kupp on the bench. What would you do, Cooper Kupp or Wan'Dale Robinson, in that slot with DK Metcalf?
I think I would do Wan'Dale Robinson. I just think he's more involved in the passing attack in New York, and he's also has a little bit of a better matchup. But I think either of those are fine options. Just to give a shout out to Jason Cross watching this on YouTube. We'll give a shout out, said hello there on YouTube. We appreciate you watching us, Jason. Thank you very much, brother. If you have any questions about anything fantasy related, drop those down in the comments section. We love having questions from fans. We'll answer them as we go through the show. Let's talk about some rankings. Enough about the downside of the NFL. And yes, I would go Wan'Dale Robinson. I think his upside is still higher than Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp his floor may be higher than Wan'Dale Robinson's, but I think the ceiling of Robinson is higher than the ceiling of Cooper Kupp. From quarterbacks, let's talk about them. Number 1 is the same as yours. We both have Drake May going up against the pitiful New York Jets. Drake May, a game where they could potentially block up the end of AFC East by heading to victory there. I just think that's going to be a good game for Drake May. 2, Joe Burrow. Another favorable matchup for Joe Burrow as they look to wrap up the season here, going up against the Arizona Cardinals, whose defense is not all that good. Josh Allen at number 3. Yeah, a little bit lower on Josh Allen than the consensus. A little bit higher than you, but the consensus, Josh Allen at number 1. Dealing with a bit of a foot injury there in New England. And also, let's not pretend like this Philadelphia defense is not as slouches. They've been a stout unit for majority of the season. Josh Allen usually gets up for these kind of games. That's why he's still number 3. But I would temper my expectations just a little bit. Matthew Stafford going up against the Atlanta Falcons. Should be a good game there for Matthew Stafford. 5, Trevor Lawrence has been on an absolute heater as of late. Goes up against the Indianapolis Colts, and we saw what Brock Purdy just did against that defense this past weekend. Trevor Lawrence could have a similar day at the office against the Indianapolis Colts. And 6, Jalen Hurts go up against Josh Allen. Should have a good game there. That should be a high-scoring game, in my opinion. Number 7, Dak Prescott, a little bit lower on Dak Prescott than you are. I'm just not sure how much those starters are going to be motivated to play hard in that game against the Commanders, knowing that their season is already over. Actually, they're not playing the Commanders. They're playing yeah, it is the Commanders. What am I talking about? And then Tyler Shook at number 8, man. I love what I've seen on Tyler Shook. He's playing winning football. He also runs the football kind of a lot for that football team because all the running backs are hurt or stink. So Tyler Shook's had to shoulder a lot of that load. I like what I've seen on him so far. And then God bless Bo Nix going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Should have a good day. Should bounce back after that pretty poor performance against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then Sam Darnold, number 10. Yeah, he kind of picked up a little bit with that overtime session for Sam Darnold. The 2 touchdowns there down at the end. But for the most part, he's been pretty meh for the last 2 months or so. Basically ever since I traded for him, unfortunately. So Sam Darnold, yeah, that was not a good trade on my behalf at all. But Sam Darnold, number 10 there. Pretty major matchup going against the Carolina Panthers. And then my outside looking at it, I got Brock Purdy coming off probably his best game as a pro, going up against my Chicago Bears. Baker Mayfield, Cam Ward, wrapping up my outside looking in. And then I got Cam Ward at 4,500 in DraftKings. I just like that matchup against the New Orleans Saints. That could be a shootout, potentially.
I'm hoping it's not because I'm starting the New Orleans Saints defense this week in the championship. So I'm hoping. So here was my scenario, David, last week. So because Woody Marks was a late scratch. Late as hell scratch. I'm talking about, what was it, like about 30 minutes before the game type scratch?
It's got to be like the Roma Dunze scratch. I mean, he was a scratch like 1 minute before the game started.
Yeah, and so I ended up having to drop New England's defense in order to pick up Nick Chubb. And guess what, David? The guy that I'm playing with in the championship, guess who we picked up?
The Patriots.
New England's defense. And I'm so pissed because I didn't want to drop New England's defense because I knew they had a favorable matchup. And I was like, okay, I'm saving them for the championship. But they were the only player on my team that I could have dropped for Nick Chubb. And so I was just just blown that Woody Marks was a late scratch like that. And it really affected my it's going to affect my matchup. DK Metcalf's going to affect my matchup. I'm going to pray that I can win. I think I'm up on an uphill battle this week. Drake May at number 1. He's going against the New York Jets. He's going to put up numbers. I think he'll get a couple rushing touchdowns.
I think so too.
And so that
he's gotta have a statement. I know you can make the argument that statement victory came on Sunday against the Ravens, but I mean, if he needs to still have that moment for him to win the MVP. I still think he's trailing Matthew Stafford just a little bit.
I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real with you. The reason why the Patriots won is because Todd Monken kept Derrick Henry on the bench. He kept Derrick Henry on the bench in that second to last drive.
You're welcome, by the way.
I know. Thank you, Todd Monken. Thank you. I don't know if that's a Harbaugh decision or if that's a Todd Monken decision, but after seeing Derrick Henry just run crazy through New England's defense all night, you decide to put Keaton Mitchell out there and just have Derrick Henry on the bench. Yeah, it wasn't a good decision. That's the reason why they lost. And Drake May was able to, get second chances, third chances, and come back. Dak Prescott at number 2. It's a favorable matchup. You talk about the Commanders at number 3. Joe Burrow. That whole Cincinnati. I mean, they just shellacked the Miami Dolphins last week. Yeah, they shellacked the Miami Dolphins last week. I think they'll have, this will be a very entertaining game against Arizona. I think that'll be a high scoring game. In my opinion. At number 4, I got Josh Allen. 5, Matthew Stafford, who I think Matthew Stafford put up the most fantasy points last week.
I don't know. We'll find out at the end.
I've been doing that the last 4 weeks or so. But yeah, Matthew Stafford versus Atlanta, not a good defense at all. He's going to go crazy despite who's out there at wide receiver for him. Puka Nacua might have an even better game than he did last week, which is pretty
just a small spoiler. Matthew Stafford did not put up the number 1 points in fantasy last week.
It was probably Puka Nacua.
We'll get to it.
Anyways, number 6, Jalen Hurts going against the Buffalo Bills. That should be a prime time matchup. Him and Josh Allen. That could be a Super Bowl matchup potentially.
Yeah, that's what we said yesterday.
Yes, sir. Number 7, we got Brock Purdy, who is literally hitting on all cylinders towards at the right time.
The last 3 weeks, he's been on a heater. Same thing with the guy right after. Same with the guy right after him too. I mean,
yeah, 5 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence, he's been quietly as kept. He should get some MVP votes this year. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, he should. He's been really good.
He should. He's been really good. He's at number 8. Yeah, I like that matchup. That Trevor Lawrence has against Indianapolis, which they're just kind of falling apart at the seams towards the end of the season. At number 9, I got Baker Mayfield, and then rounding my top 10 is Jared Goff, which Detroit Lions are on their last legs. They're playing against the Minnesota defense. It's actually been pretty okay the last 2 or 3 weeks or so. So we'll see how that matchup plays out.
It's sort of played devil's advocate here. They haven't exactly played any stout. I mean, I guess they did play the Cowboys and they limited that offense.
Yeah.
I mean,
but they've been right. Fantasy wise, they've been average, but they just been doing enough to win football games. They haven't been letting teams just run all over them, like they did in the beginning of the season. So that's improvement in that department. And then I'm outside looking. I got Jacoby Brissett, Sam Darnold, who hopefully, David, in retrospect for you, I guess you're out of the playoffs in that league. Hopefully, I think that would be going up against his former team in Carolina. It's going to be a big game for him. Big game for Carolina after dropping one last week. Oh, no, they won last week. My bad. Yeah. But the big game for Carolina, if they beat, say, Seattle, they virtually are pretty much in, right? I mean, they pretty much hold
their game would still be for all. Their game was. I don't know what the tiebreakers are exactly because all the we talked about this last week. Or I think they're like
we did talk about it last week. Yeah.
So I don't really know what the tiebreakers are.
But yeah.
But if they do win this game, it would put them in the driver's seat of the NFC South.
And I'm going to say this about Caleb Williams: when it's all said and done, depending on who's his what's the wide receiver situation. I don't know if Roma Dunze is coming back or not. I don't know if Luther Burden's coming back or not. Yeah, one of those guys come back. I really don't think it matters because San Francisco's defense let a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers pretty much dissect them most of the game. Majority of the game.
Roma Dunze did not practice today, so I don't think he's going to play.
Yeah. So I think Caleb Williams, when it's all said and done, he'll be a top 13 quarterback, maybe a top 10 quarterback. And my sneaky option in FanDuel is Phillip Rivers at 6,300, super cheap. Pretty cheap there. And 44-year-old Phillip Rivers has been quite impressive.
He's been okay.
For not playing football for 5 years. No. He's been don't downplay him, David.
He's been okay.
He's been throwing like cinder block balls out there. But they've been accurate cinder block balls.
That's how he threw his entire career. He's never been the biggest arm strength guy.
Shot put them motherfuckers, man. I mean, but he's been super accurate, man. But I mean,
welcome to Phillip Rivers.
That last interception that he threw when he was throwing it to Tyler Warren, I don't really think that was necessarily his fault. I think Tyler Warren did not. I think Tyler Warren just did not run the route as well as he should have, and D. Winters just jumped it and ran it back for a touchdown. I like Phillip Rivers at 6,300.
You never should have thrown it there. Luther Burden returned in a limited capacity to practice today, so I don't think he'll play either. So
they're at home. They're at home though, David. I like Phillip Rivers at home.
At the house.
Let's get a W. Let's get a W, Indianapolis. So, and you know what's crazy, David? When Indianapolis losing, we don't see Irsay Gordon, whatever the hell her damn first name is. We don't see Jim Irsay's daughter so much being talked about, right? She's not being talked about. She's not firing guys on the sideline. I mean, it's like. I don't know what she thought she was doing on the sideline. She thought she was attributing to winning by holding people accountable. No, get your ass back in the press box. Just saying. Anyways,
moving on. From the quarterback position, let's talk about them rock toters. Let's talk about running backs.
Rock toters. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be on an absolute tear this week. I love that matchup. going up against Minnesota. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have 3 touchdowns this week. He might be the highest point getter. I'll just call it right now. He is going to be the highest point getter. I might have said that last week, but who cares? Christian McCaffrey going up against the Bears at number 2. And then I got a one that, Travis Etienne, baby, going up against Indianapolis, who really hasn't been good on defense the last 3 or 4 weeks. I think Travis Etienne is going to have a really great, amazing game this week. Devon Achane and Bijan Robinson both are in the same boat, in my opinion, David, because you know what? When teams are stopping the run against both those teams, those 2 guys still have a lot of value catching the football. Short passes, and they can just take them to the house. I expect both of those games to kind of be out of reach. Miami definitely, I think, against Tampa Bay, and Bijan Robinson against LA. I think both of those games are going to be out of reach. They're going to be passing the ball. Expect those guys to have 90 to 100 receiving yards, maybe a receiving touchdown or so. Saquon Barkley at number 6, and then Ashton Zenty, who, man, had a pretty big game last week. 31 fantasy points, 128 yards and a touchdown. He also had another touchdown receiving 60 yards.
He only had the 1 catch for 60 yards, but yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever. It's still a touchdown, David.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's still a touchdown. Oh, yeah, he had, what's that, 188 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, Ashton Zenty, and he has a good matchup with New York Giants this week, so I like that. Number 8, Derrick Henry. He would have been higher on this list if Lamar Jackson was playing, but I got him a little lower against the Green Bay Packers just because they're going to be a little bit more predictable this week with Tyler Huntley probably at quarterback. So yeah, Derrick Henry at number 8, but who knows? I mean, we've seen Tyler Huntley, have pretty decent starts in this league, and they might, have a really good game plan against Green Bay. I don't know if I see it, but Derrick Henry still top 10 back. At number 9, I got Chase Brown, and rounding my top 10, I got James Cook going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm outside looking, and I got Jonathan Taylor, who pretty much has been bottled up last month or so. So, hopefully, I mean, he can kind of, get out of that funk against Jacksonville. But I think Jonathan Taylor's he's outside of my top 10 for a reason, just because they just haven't really, they haven't been good in the run game last month, 4 weeks or so. Kyron Williams, and then just because I think Blake Corum just kind of eats into a lot of his production.
Especially in the goal line.
Yeah, so if Blake Corum wasn't eating, Kyron Williams would probably be a top 5 back in my opinion. Since he eats into his production, Kyron Williams on the outside looking in. And then Kenneth Gainwell, I don't know what Jalen Warren's status is. Both had pretty decent games last week, but I know Jalen Warren's questionable this week so far. Haven't looked at his injury status. I know he was a limited participant this week, but Kenneth Gainwell definitely has some value, especially in the passing game.
Limited in practice today. I imagine he will play, and I wouldn't be worried about him. But
you said that about you said that about Woody Marks last week.
I did, yeah. But I think I wouldn't be worried about it anyway. I think Kenneth Gainwell, because of his usage in the passing game, especially with DK Metcalf being out now, I think Kenneth Gainwell is safe to roll the dice on.
Safe to roll the dice. And then at 6,100, I got Tony Pollard. I know you brought up Tajay Spears. He's definitely a guy to kind of look at. I mean, they're run heavy now these days. I think that kind of fits both well for that team. Helping out Cam Ward. But Tony Pollard, I think he's had 3 or 4 100-yard gains in the last 4 weeks or so.
Yeah, he's been solid.
He's been really solid. He was missing a touchdown last week, I think. He had 100 yards, over 100 yards again last week. So 6,100, he's the cheapest out of those backs. A really good RB2 to start. So,
yeah, Tony Pollard his last 4 weeks has had 10 points, 18 points, and 28 points the last 3 games. So against Cleveland, he had 2 touchdowns. I mean, if he had a touchdown against Kansas City, he would have had an absolute clinic of a day. But he's had over 100 yards in 3 straight games. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Moving on from your running backs, let's talk about mine. Saquon Barkley at number 1. I think if you want to beat Buffalo, you got to be able to run the football. 2, Chase Brown. I know he came back down to earth a little bit after that crazy game against, I think he had that crazy game against the Miami Dolphins. And then number 3, you got James Cook. I think we've learned quickly here that the Buffalo Bills want to do what the Buffalo Bills want to do. James Cook has to be healthy involved in their passing attack or in their running game. And I think that'll happen against the Philadelphia Eagles. Jameer Gibbs at number 4. Yeah, probably a little bit too low on Jameer Gibbs, but I think, the Minnesota Vikings still have a pretty tough run defense at times. We didn't really see Tyron Tracy get last week go off for the New York Giants. And number 5, Devon Achane. Yeah, I agree with you. Even if they're getting blown out of that game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and down in South Beach, I think Devon Achane, because of his running ability and passing catches out of the backfield, his value stays pretty safe. 6, Derrick Henry. I think they're going to probably try to take the recipe that the Bears have used to kind of stifle the Green Bay Packers a little bit and just be super run heavy in that game. I just think the carries will be there for Derrick Henry. 7, Bucky Irving. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers want to get back into the hunt of the NFC South, they need to go back to when they were good. And Bucky Irving being involved in the passing game and in the running game is when this team was really formidable. When he went down with injury, that's when the wheels started to come off. He's been back for 3 weeks, but they still don't feel like they're fully integrating him back into the offense. A lot of Sean Tucker, a lot of Rashad White, and that's just like those two guys. They're not Bucky Irving. 8, Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, he's been just the MVP conversation is no longer happening with Jonathan Taylor. He's just kind of middling to finish up the season. 8, Bijan Robinson. Yeah, a little bit lower on Bijan than you are, but I think they're going to get down early. And even if they do, I think he'll have some value. But that Rams running defense is stout. Even though Kenneth Walker did have a good game against them, but he's kind of the outlier. Like most running games don't have a good game against this Los Angeles Rams defense. And then number 10, I got Christian McCaffrey. This is kind of just hopeful thinking, he probably belongs up in the top 5, but I just don't want him to go up against my Bears. And if I manifest that, that's how things work. Number 10 for Christian McCaffrey. Outside looking in, Travis Etienne has been on an absolute heater. I think he's had 4 touchdowns in 2 games. I know he had 3 in just 1 game, but his usage in the passing game and in the running game, especially since Basil Tutin is not in the mix right now. Travis Etienne has been money. 2, Ashton Genty. The best thing about Ashton Genty is that nobody else is taking carries for him. He's the only guy getting catches at the running back position for the Las Vegas Raiders. So start him with confidence. And then Ramondre Stevenson, as I mentioned, no TreVeyon Henderson going up against a bad Jets team. I think they'll get up early. I think Ramondre Stevenson has a good game there. And then my sneaky and daily, I got Dylan Sampson for the Cleveland Browns and Ty Johnson, 4,500 for the Buffalo Bills. They just like to use him a lot in that offense as like a compliment to James Cook, and it's just a overall just on a third down back for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, Ray Davis is kind of falling out. He used to be, Ray Davis was like that second back last year, and he just completely just been non-existent all season long. So, I think Ray Davis being a smaller back, right? You kind of more elusive back. You need that kind of bruiser.
They use Ray Davis a little bit more in the kick return game, and they kind of use Ty Johnson as this third down, change the pace back a little bit.
Yeah, yep.
From the running backs, let's talk about them pass catchers, wide receivers. Number 1 is Jamar Chase. Really favorable matchup there going up against the Arizona Cardinals. And then out to be outdone is Puka Nacua at number 2. I like that matchup there against the Atlanta Falcons, even though they probably will get a heavy dose of A.J. Terrell. But without Devontae Adams, who probably still won't play in this game, I think Puka Nacua has very good value. 3, Nico Collins. That's a good matchup there for the Houston Texans as they're going up against, the Los Angeles Chargers. I think that game is going to be a sneaky, maybe potentially a sneaky. I think Nico Collins has a good game against that. Number 4, Chris Olave has quietly had a really good down the stretch. He's going to play more than 17 games the first time of his career, as long as he doesn't get banged up in practice this week, knock on wood. But Chris Olave has quietly had a really nice fantasy season. And then number 5, Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Sun God. Going up against the Minnesota Vikings. I think they're going to, this do or die. It's do or die time.
A little bit of a nagging injury too as well.
Yeah. 6, Mike Evans and Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a game they have to have. 7, CeeDee Lamb. A little bit lower on CeeDee Lamb just because I'm not sure how motivated those starters for Dallas are going to be to play. 8, JSN going up against Carolina. I think that J.C. Horn is going to have he's going to have a lot of J.C. Horn. He's a pretty good corner, but you can't take him out of your top 10. He's been too good. Probably not going to break Calvin's record now, though, but still having a fantastic season. And then number 9, Terry Scary McLaurin, after a pretty quiet 2025, he broke out in big fashion last weekend against the Philadelphia Eagles. Had a touchdown in that game. And then Terry Scary McLaurin, or Michael Wilson for the Arizona Cardinals, was kind of replaced Maserati Marv as the number 1 wide receiver there in Arizona, at least for now, as long as Jacoby Brissett is the starting quarterback. And then my outside looking, I got Cortland Sutton playing on Christmas Day, Tedero McMillan of the Carolina Panthers playing against the Seattle Seahawks, and then Zay Flowers, outside of that fumble, was having a fantastic day at the office. Had a bunch of catches, then had a rushing touchdown as well. Zay Flowers, fantastic wide receiver. Start him with confidence against your Green Bay Packers. And then my sneaky daily, I got Cameron DK at 4,100. Another touchdown for him in the Tennessee Titans, as that rookie class for the Tennessee Titans shaping up to be kind of decent. And then my sneaky daily, MVS 3,000. I think he's going to be the guy that gets the big plays in replacement of DK Metcalf there for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, no, I think that DK Metcalf situation, speaking on that, that's just, hurtful for a lot of guys, man. I'm just stunned that he would do that, especially the fact that, everything's not sold up for you yet. It could potentially, cost your team playoff seeding, possibly the division. I know they're kind of in the driver's seat a little bit. All they need to do is win one, and they pretty much wrap up that division. But it's just, it hurts. It hurts a lot of guys, especially have them at like wide receiver 2, or wide receiver 1 for that fact. But anyways, number 1, I got Puka Nacua. I know AJ Terrell will be on him. It doesn't matter who's on him. It could be, it could be Champ Bailey on him. It could be, Deion Sanders on him. He's playing at an all-time high level. And I saw somebody say, "Oh man, nobody really plays. He's not really a man beater in man-to-man coverage." I'm like,
what are you watching?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. He's like, "Oh, he gets most of this." I was like, "Dude, you're totally racist," because he makes the most incredible catches with little separation. At number 2, I got JSN, who's pretty much kind of cooled off in the last month or so. I don't believe he's going to get that record. Last week, I think last week was a pretty solid game for him. He had 96 yards, a touchdown, really solid fantasy outputting. The last 3 weeks, he's been good. But he hasn't been like, astronomically great like how he was in the first, half of the season, I guess. But still really good for JSN. He's my number 2 wide receiver. And number 3, Jamar Chase. That's going to be up and down game. Arizona. They don't have anything to play for but pride and to put up stats, to accumulate wealth for themselves in their contract. Pretty sure he already hit his 1,000-yard mark, which I'm pretty sure he got it. I'm pretty sure he hit his bonus. I don't know what his bonus or his contract structure looks like, but that's what these guys are playing for that don't have nothing to play for as a team. Anyways, at number 4, I got Amon-Ra St. Brown. And at number 5, CeeDee Lamb. And yes, David, CeeDee Lamb will be motivated because of that very reason. He needs to hit his bonus. Okay?
He already got over 1,000 yards already.
So he probably had his bonus already. So, he's probably, where's the extra bonus at? There's got to be some extra incentive. Maybe Jerry's like, hey, I'll throw in, a couple $100,000, CD, if you keep playing hard from you to the end of the season. All right. Number 6.
Your Jerry Jones is terrible.
Number 6, I got AJ Brown. AJ Brown versus Buffalo. I think that's going to be the best game of the week, man. Buffalo and Philadelphia. I think it's going to go back and forth. It's a Super Bowl preview, in my opinion. I think AJ Brown's going to have a really good game, depending on what Jalen Hurts we see. Right. Number 7, Mike Evans. Going up against Miami, they're gonna shred that defense. I'm sorry. Mike Evans is top 10 wide receiver this week. At number 8, Nico Collins. Just like how you said, I think Nico Collins is gonna have a really nice game against the Chargers. That defense has kind of slowed down a little bit last few weeks or so. Give me Nico Collins as a top
not really,
10.
but
Whatever. I think Nico's like the only guy that CJ is gonna, be able to throw the football down.
I mean, you could make the argument that.
But in LA, who the Chargers have played though?
I mean, the Chargers defense has kind of carried Justin Herbert through this phase where he had that broken hand. I mean, that is true. Awesome. I mean, they went up against Dallas and stifled that defense, that offense. They went up against Kansas City.
Not a playoff team.
But both those teams have high-powered offenses if you let them.
Neither of those guys are playing. Neither of those guys are playing in a couple weeks, though. Neither of those teams are playing in a couple weeks. So I'm gonna take.
I mean, but who has a better offense, the Dallas Cowboys or the Houston Texans? It's Dallas. It's not close.
Whatever. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, I mean, Dak Prescott still put up some numbers in that game, though, like he always does. I mean, he's gonna put up numbers regardless. But anyways, Jameson Williams, top 10 wide receiver, along with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think Amon-Ra's dealing with some type of lower extremity injury. He was limited in practice today, so hopefully he plays tomorrow. And then Jameson Williams should, if he doesn't play, Jameson Williams is definitely going to get a big boost. And I got Wan'Dale Robinson in my top 10 because you know what? I just need him to play top 10 football. I need him to play top 10 football this week in order to get me a fantasy football championship in a league that I've been super close in getting the fantasy championship in. I came runner up. I had the best record, I think, in the last three, or one of the best records in the last 3 years. Been, coming super close. So let me get Wan'Dale Robinson as my top 10 wide receiver. And then I got George Pickens, Teteroto McMillan, and then Chris Olave. I like how he's been playing with Tyler Shuck. And then my cheap option in FanDuel, 5,800. I got Alec Pearson. And at 5,000, I got Adam Thielen, baby, filling in for DK Metcalf. I think he's going to be the third most targeted receiver.
Adam Thielen is pretty cheap on DraftKings as well. Yeah. I just prefer the high. I just prefer the big play potential of MVS more. But
yeah, I think
Thielen is very cheap.
I think he'll get a lot of targets though. Adam Thielen is in his heyday. I mean, he's still good in and out of those cuts. He's still an amazing route runner. Back in Minnesota, I used to say that he was the number one wide receiver.
We remember when you were wrong. Let's talk about them bulkier pass catchers. Let's talk about them tight ends. Go ahead, brother.
Tight ends. I'll go through this quick. George Kittle at number 1 because he's just George Kittle. He's just on a tear.
He is dealing with a little bit of an injury, but it doesn't sound like it's going to cause him to miss any time. Some sort of ankle injury that he suffered.
Man, last week, ankle sprain. Dude, last week he was pretty damn good. 115 yards. And then he had that non-contact, which kind of kept him out like that second half of the second half of the fourth quarter or something like that.
They didn't need him to come back either.
They didn't need him. Yeah, they were.
I still think he plays, but I think he may be limited in this game against the Chicago Bears on Sunday.
Yeah, Trey McBride's going to have an excellent game. Like I said,
as he does every week.
Every week, going up against Cincinnati, and then Harold Fannin Jr. is a top 3 tight end. I mean, who would have thought, man? Harold Fannin, man. I was talking about Harold Fannin
all season long.
All season. And this guy is just, oh my gosh, dude. He has been absolutely amazing since Shedeur Sanders has been quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
Even before that, I mean.
Yeah, even before that, he's definitely I don't know, man. I mean, you got Tyler Warren, you got Colston Loveland. I mean, I think Harold Fannin has kind of been better than both of them. In my opinion,
not better than Tyler Warren. Because
Tyler Warren, because you will say this because of the change of quarterback. I mean, I think the change of quarterback, Daniel Jones getting hurt Tyler Warren, as opposed to the change of quarterback with Shedeur Sanders actually
that
elevated Harold Fanning.
I mean, but also Harold Fanning also has benefited from the fact that David Njoku hasn't played in 3 weeks.
I mean, he was getting touchdowns with David.
Not like this.
Not like at this rate. Not at this rate. No, not at this rate. But he was still getting a little something. At number 4, Juwan Johnson. He's been coming on strong of late. Like him and Chris Olave. So, since Tyler Shuck has been in at quarterback position, they've elevated their performances. At number 5, Kyle Pitts. I expect Atlanta to be throwing the football a little bit more this week, as they'll be probably down against the Rams. So a lot of opportunity for Kyle Pitts to.
He's had a pretty decent couple weeks here. So
yeah,
he had that crazy performance against Tampa Bay. And he followed it up with a pretty solid performance last week against Arizona.
Yeah, and then at number 6, Dallas Goedert. He's been pretty solid. I think he's got a touchdown in his last 2 games. He's got 3 touchdowns in his last 2 games. So even though he didn't have the yards last week, he was still able to score. I think his touchdown was kind of like it was like a short shovel pass. I don't know. It was an 18-yard touchdown pass. My bad. I thought it was like a short touchdown. Anyways, but yeah, Dallas Goedert. If he gets in the end zone for me, I'm starting him too. By the way, yeah. So yeah, Dallas Goedert. I need you to be a top 10 tight end this week. At number 7, Jake Ferguson. Then number 8, I got Colston Loveland going up against the San Francisco 49ers. Clearly, I think Caleb Williams is preferring him over Cole Kmet. Colston Loveland just moves a little bit better, I think, than Cole Kmet. More athletic. You can do a little bit more with him. But yeah, I like him against. He's had a pretty good second half of the season. Number 9, Hunter Henry, the ultimate security blanket for Drake May. He just catches everything that is thrown his way. Last week, he had 7 targets, 6 catches. Even though they were all underneath throws, he still had a touchdown last week. But he's just a target machine for Drake May when he's in trouble of sorts. And then at number 10, Darren Waller, because I expect that game to kind of be out of hand. Let's expect maybe a garbage touchdown or 2 from Darren Waller, possibly.
Basically what we saw of him 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then my outside looking, I got Brenton Strange, Tyler Warren, which I'm super surprised about Tyler Warren because he's playing with the quarterback that put a tight end in the Hall of Fame. He put a gold jacket on the tight end, and Tyler Warren he's just not finding his tight end at all. So that's kind of interesting, but yeah, Tyler Warren on the outside looking in. Hopefully he can bounce back. And then my last one is Bobby Schultz's cousin, Dalton Schultz, for the Houston Texans. And then my cheap option in FanDuel is Darnell Washington at 5,000. The big tackle, the big Lebowski, playing tight end over there, 300 and something plus pounds, whatever how much he weighs. By the way, that he has these plays. I think he does them every week now, where he just runs through 4, 5, 6 guys. You know what I mean? Like whole defenses. Last week he did it. It was incredible to watch. Who's stopping that? You know what I mean? It's pretty incredible, man. I think we got a tight end question though.
Oh, here. All right. Sorry, hold on a second. Swinging into we got a fan question. Okay, so who should I start in PPR flex? This is not a tight end question. This is a PPR flex question. He's got Parker Washington of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Taysom Hill, who's coming into probably the end of his tenure here for the New Orleans Saints, or AJ Barner of the Seattle Seahawks playing up against the Carolina Panthers. Parker Washington was a target machine last weekend against the Denver Broncos, and nobody seemed to be able to tackle him, especially not Riley Moss, as he broke a bunch of tackles in that game. It's between Parker Washington and AJ Barner. I know I have Taysom Hill ranked higher than AJ Barner, but I probably shouldn't. I would go Parker Washington. I think he's going to be more involved in the passing attack of the Jacksonville Jaguars than I think AJ Barner will be.
Yeah, I'm going Parker Washington as well. Those other 2 guys.
And Parker Washington's coming off a game where I also think the floor and the ceiling are both higher for Parker Washington.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's going against a defense that hasn't really been that great I mean, we just saw what the Niners have done. I know it's San Francisco 49ers, but Jacksonville's, on that level. They're one of the best teams in the AFC. Parker Washington's a guy that's going to get a lot of looks in that game.
Parker Washington's coming off a game where he had 26.5 fantasy points. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, the week before that, he had 8.3 fantasy points. I mean, he's been quietly as a cat, like a really effective tight end or a wide receiver this season. And AJ Barner, he is totally touchdown dependent. If he doesn't get in the end zone, I don't think he's even worth starting. And Taysom Hill, I think because of the gadgetry of the way he plays for that New Orleans Saints team, he does a little bit of everything. He gets some rushing touchdowns. Maybe he can get a passing touchdown. But I would go Parker Washington. I think he's safer.
Yeah, I agree.
So hopefully that ends up working out for you, the Epic 8 fight. Thanks for watching us on the YouTube. We appreciate that very much. If you like what we're doing here at Prime Sports World, drop us a like, drop us a subscribe, and give us a thumbs up. But yeah, over to my tight ends, number one. Yeah, it's the same guy. It's been all freaking season. Trey freaking McBride. And then I got Harold Fanning, Izzy's guy, Harold Fanning at number two. And I think you are so disrespectful on Bobby Schultz's cousin, Dalton Schultz. That guy has been on a target machine and touchdowns in back-to-back weeks. I need to continue riding him one more week as I look to get that ring in AJ's league. And then, I got Dallas Goedert. Yeah, he keeps getting in the end zone. He's had 3 touchdowns in 2 weeks. 2 of those were against the Las Vegas Raiders, so take that with a pinch of salt. Brenton Strange going up for the Jacksonville Jaguars, going up against the Colts. We saw it with George Kittle, and yes, he's not George Kittle, but he's pretty close. Number 6 and 7, Taysom Hill and A.J. Barner. I kind of just talked about both of those guys. Number 8, George Kittle. The only reason that he's here is because of that ankle injury. I do not know how limited he's going to be with that mid to low ankle sprain. I know it's not as bad as a high ankle sprain, but I still think he's going to be a little bit limited in that game against the Chicago Bears. Number 9, Jake Ferguson was a fantasy darling early in the season. He's definitely cooled off as we've gone on here. Same thing with Tyler Warren, who was in my top 3 for majority of my season, but no longer the case as he's dropped to number 10. And then from there, my outside looking in, I got Hunter Henry, Colston Loveland, and Kyle Pitts Sr. Of the Atlanta Falcons. And then my sneaky and daily is Jatavion Sanders of the Carolina Panthers at 2,700. He was the one who caught the game-winning touchdown for the Carolina Panthers. So I think he's going to be pretty heavily involved if they want to stay relevant against the Seattle Seahawks in the game. They don't have to have, but it would certainly help their argument if they got it. So, moving on from tight ends, swinging out to the other side of the football into the defenses. And my number 1 is the Denver Broncos going up against Hadouken and the Kansas City Chiefs. As Chris Hadouken is the starting quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. They have not brought anybody to really compete with him. Chris Hadouken is the guy's last name. Like from Street Fighter, Chris Hadouken.
Where they find this guy at, man? The 7-Eleven, man?
I don't know, man. He's 28 years old. He's been I'm not even sure. I don't even know.
Did he play spring football?
Dude, I could literally not tell you a thing about Chris Hadouken other than his name sounds like that Street Fighter thing that people say. Hadouken. Yeah, exactly.
Man.
So he went. So he was on the. So he played in college football. He's 28. His birthday was just a couple months ago. He started his college career in 2016. He played a billion years in college. Ended up at South Dakota State. Graduated in 2021. He was a 7th-round pick in 2022 by I guess the Steelers. He only ended up on their practice squad, and he's just been on the roster since 2022. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings on the practice squad. So
that's good, man. Had 2 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, all right.
Practice squad quarterback. All right, Hadouken. All right.
Yeah, good for you. I don't know. Wikipedia barely has his stats.
And look, hey.
He did throw a ton of touchdowns. Like in college, he had a 47-17 touchdown interception ratio. Pretty good.
Well, you're not in South Dakota State, and good luck against PS2.
Yeah, so good luck. For sure. And then I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at number 2 going up against Quinn Ewers and the Miami Dolphins in the game they have to have. New England Patriots going up against Brady Cook and the New York Jets. The Detroit Lions going up against Max Rosmer, or whatever his last name is, and the Minnesota Vikings. And then the Los Angeles Rams. I do like that matchup against Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. And then my outside looking in, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against Philip Rivers and the Colts. Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the I don't remember who they're playing now.
The Steelers playing the Browns.
Thank you. The Browns and then the Houston Texans. I think that's a pretty solid matchup there against the Los Angeles Chargers. Because outside of that game against Dallas, I mean, Justin Herbert looked pretty pedestrian for a couple weeks coming off that broken hand. Texans still the best defense in the National Football League. And then my sneaky day, they got the New York Football Giants at 2,900. They have a pretty solid matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders, an offense that just really can't get it going any front whatsoever right now in the National Football League. So Giants. And then from yours to defense to from my defense to yours.
Yeah, Broncos. Same exact reason. I mean, they're going against it doesn't matter who the hell the quarterback
Chris Oladukin.
Yeah, Chris Oladukin, whatever the hell his name is. He's gonna have a bad time against the Denver Broncos. Number 2, the Patriots going against Brady Cook. Yeah, they're gonna eat against them. Number 3, the Steelers. Just the fact that Shedeur Sanders has had an interception in every single game that I think he started. Bodes well for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I would start them. And number 4, Houston Texans. Despite you saying that you think that they're going to have a high scoring game, I think that game's actually going to be in the teens, in my opinion. And I think the Houston Texans. I don't think the LA Chargers are going to do anything versus the Houston Texans. I think they probably won't even get double digit points against the Houston Texans. I think it'll be a field goal. I think it'll be a field goal matchup. And I necessarily don't even really think that there'll be a lot of yards, in this game. I don't think they'll have 300 yards. I think it'll be like 3 field goals.
I don't think that's a bad take.
Field goal fest. Number 5, I got the New Orleans Saints going against the Tennessee Titans. I'm still I'm starting them right now, but I'm on the fringe about kind of changing things up. But I got them as the top 5 defense. They've been playing decent defense of late. They're going against another rookie this week. Last week they had Brady Cook, 19 fantasy points. I know Carolina and Tampa Bay, pretty good teams. Miami, they were in that midst of Miami running for 200 plus yards. Before that, they had Atlanta, Carolina, 12. So I think, against Tennessee is a favorable matchup. If they could get after Cam Ward, the only thing that Tennessee has been doing well, though, which kind of concerns me, is they have been running the football pretty damn well of late. So that kind of concerns me. That kind of goes against the weakness of the New Orleans Saints there. And then on my outside looking in, I have the Seahawks, Rams, and Buccaneers. And probably should have the Lions in there somewhere going up against a rookie and Max Brosmer at Minnesota. And then my cheap option in FanDuel is the Saints at 4,200 this week.
I'm not so sold on the New Orleans Saints. I've been high on them previous weeks, but I think that game might be a shootout between the Titans and the Saints. So take that as well.
Yeah.
Moving on from the defensive rankings, let's talk a little bit about last week. Let's talk about who's the number 1 scorer in fantasy was last week. Do you know who it was?
Number 1 scorer in fantasy last week has to be Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua was the number 1 scorer in fantasy, 46.5 fantasy points. He had 12 catches, 225 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Do you think you can name any of the other guys in the top 5?
Matthew Stafford's number 2.
Matthew Stafford not in the top 5.
He had 43 fantasy points, damn it.
In my scoring format, in the greatest people, 30.88.
He hit 30.88. I thought he had 43. In the league I'm in, he had 43.
30.88. 30.88.
30.88. All right.
He wasn't even the highest scoring quarterback this week. He had 2 other guys that were better than him this week in fantasy.
Well, okay, so I'm going to go Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy was one of them, but not in the top 5. He was number 7. 30.9 fantasy points.
Let's go Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, not in the top 10.
Jam. Where am I at?
But
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence is number 6, highest scoring quarterback in fantasy this week, 31.16 fantasy points. The guys in the top 5 that you have not mentioned, it's a wide receiver, running back.
Oh, running back. Okay, Derrick Henry's one of them.
No.
Okay. Hold on.
I'll give you the teams. All right, we got.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I go.
Chris McCaffrey at number 4 with 32.6 fantasy points, 21 carries for 117 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns in this game. 32.6. 2 guys were ahead of him. 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, and then a running back behind him at number 5.
Oh Lord! Oh man, let's hope I can get these. Let me go with wide receiver. Golly, next wide receiver. Wasn't Jamar Chase, was it?
Jamar Chase is incorrect.
No, Jamar Chase is incorrect.
He plays in the NFC. So you got an NFC, AFC, and then an AFC guy left.
Oh man. Running back. Kenny Gainwell is one of them. Is Kenny Gainwell one of them?
No.
Ashton Jeanty. Jeanty's got to be one of them.
Ashton Jeanty, number 5.
Beautiful. Yeah,
24 carries, 128 yards, and a touchdown. And then he had that 60-yard bomb, 31.8 fantasy points. You got 2 guys left at 2 and 3, 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, 1 plays in the NFC, 1 plays in the AFC.
Let me go with Bijan Robinson.
It is not Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson finished at number 10.
Number 10. Jeez.
The running back was in the AFC. The wide receiver was in the NFC.
Oh, Devon Achane.
Not Devon Achane.
Oh, my God. Okay, James Cook.
Also not James Cook.
Not James Cook. God damn, wasn't Derrick Henry either?
Not Derrick Henry. You're in the right division in the AFC.
Oh, okay. Chase Brown.
Chase Brown at number 3 with 32.9 fantasy points. He accounted for 3 touchdowns for the Cincinnati Bengals.
And then this wide receiver's in the NFC.
Yeah.
Okay. Wide receiver, NFC.
I don't think you're going to get this. We talked about him a bunch during this show. Not a bunch, but some.
Oh, man. You said NFC?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He's been having a really nice rapport with his quarterback over the last couple weeks.
Chris Olave
at number 2. Yeah. 10 catches, 145 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Good for 36.8 fantasy points. The number 2 fantasy score in week number 16.
Man, I can't believe Matthew Stafford, man, huh?
Yeah,
he had like 40 in this one league. He had like 43 fantasy points, bro.
Oh,
it's crazy.
I don't know. Like, what is the hell? So when we close up this book on chapter number 17, who's going to be the number 1 scorer? Izzy, go ahead.
I think I mentioned it. I like Jahmyr Gibbs this week, man. I think he's going to have multiple touchdowns this week against Minnesota in a game they really need to have. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be absolutely fantastic. Another 3 touchdown performance game, over 100 yards rushing, 50 yards receiving. Really good game this week for him.
I'm going with Saquon Barkley of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's put up 100 yards, back-to-back games, going up against the Buffalo Bills team that has given up a lot of yards in the running game. Not so much last week, but in the weeks past this, I think Saquon Barkley gets off to a good game there. So give me Saquon Barkley. Also, I have to have it in AJ's league. So I'm just going to manifest that into existence. So
manifest that, yes.
But thank you very much for joining us here at Prime Sports World. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast if you like what we're doing. Thank you very much for everybody who chimed in, asked questions there on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch, wherever you happen to watch Prime Sports World. And before we get up out of here, I just wanted to give you guys all a very happy Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. From everybody here at Prime Sports World, have a happy and a safe holiday, and God bless everybody who's out there. And God bless Bo Nix.
Peace out, guys. Have a happy Christmas, and hope you guys get what you deserve. spending
100%.
families. Yep.
We'll be back here next week breaking down week number 17 of the National Football League. You don't want to miss any of that content, so hit that likes button, hit that subscribe button. We're going to be here for the rest of the regular season and into the offseason. You guys all take it easy and stay safe out there. Peace out, brother.
Guys.
And let's not forget, what do we do here at the Prime, my friend?
We bring the heat, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Bringing the heat.
Happy holidays. We'll see you all later.
Yes, sir.